okay. Still got chlorine dripping out of my sinuses, but other than that, I'm all right.
Oh, good. That's good for you.
Hello, Mr. Ian. He finally speaks.
Yeah, he's been getting other stuff ready.
Hello. I've been begging you to speak.
Yeah, I was busy getting ready for this. I got in a little late from work. All right, welcome everybody to Skills and Drills. We are working on chasing today. Should be a good time. Yes.
I died last night.
You died last night? Why'd you die? Were you chasing someone too hard?
I was doing the Delicious race.
Oof.
My recovery meter on my Garmin said that I have 62 hours to recover.
Yeah, I've been there. Garmin lies. I wouldn't worry about it.
Hey, my legs can still feel it.
It happens.
When she was flying, I can usually stop in and say hi for a couple of minutes when I see her, but the next thing I knew, she was like 45 seconds down the road. So.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, she was hammering away.
You talking about me? You talking about me, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I clicked on join now, and I was with you for like all of 6 seconds. So.
Yeehaw! At least I know there was somebody behind me.
All right, Pat, thanks for joining. We got a few people on. We're going to start in about 5 minutes, so let me type out some instructions now that people are jumping on in. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, we're in main voice, sorry. Alright, let's see. So those watching, this is a class. Pat wants to talk about black licorice instead, and I don't think we're going to do that.
That's yummy stuff. That's yummy stuff.
Ooh, turn on my fan so I don't stop and do that and chase back on. All right.
Don't you burn more fat if you sweat more?
No, that is absolutely not true. In no way, shape, or form.
Don't you burn more fat? Damn.
And if it were, he does not need to burn anymore.
So you mean that big heavy sweatsuit I'm wearing right now isn't going to help?
We got a newcomer here. Her name is Corinne Walker.
Corinne, welcome.
She died with me last night.
Oh, very nice. So I'm glad you were able to come back from being dead.
Her legs might still be broken.
I don't see Corinne, though, anywhere.
She just jumped on. She's not in the main channel yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's on. That's you. See Walker Fear.
That's the one.
Oh no, I see her on Zwift. I don't see her in our Discord channel yet.
Yeah, I don't know if she will get in there. Let me switch channels. I might be able to get her over.
Yeah, that'd be good. More the merrier in our little group. Alright. Get that screen all set up. And now we can go back to the typing screen. Alright, so we're going to have a little bit of fun. Let's see, Exley is... Alright, so we are going to focus on some chasing. So we're going to look at a couple different things. Because normally what we do is we just chase as a group and practice chasing as a group. But what we're going to do a little bit different today is we are going to practice and see the difference in chasing at different time gaps while maintaining a very similar pace as the attacking rider. Now, fortunately, we'll have the the benefit of the bigger draft as a bigger group. So it'll be a lot more difficult for that rider to stay away. But you're going to notice that even though we have an easier time, a 5-second gap, a 10-second gap, and a 30-second gap take a lot longer to shut down than you would think. The 5-second, not so much, but that 10, once you get past 10, it starts to become a lot more difficult. All right, so let me type out a little bit here, and then we will get going in 2 minutes.
Corinne is in.
All right,
Afternoon,
welcome,
Corinne. Unmute your mic. Corinne.
She'll be in push to talk mode, so Corinne, you're in push to talk as a default, so if you're not used to that, that is probably going to be one of the issues. You have to figure out what button is your push to talk button.
If it's a keyboard, typically spacebar.
Corinne, if you can't figure it out, I'll teach you
Exley's
later.
with us too. Fantastic.
Corinne, if you can't
I guess you are Triangle Velo Dave.
Yep, that's me.
Fantastic. So we're going to be max of 1.5 watts per kilogram at the front. And I want you guys to take turns practicing being on the front, being on the back, and being in the middle. Don't just stay in one spot. You want to be moving all around the bunch because you really want to get a good feel for what it takes to hold a position, what you can ease off to, and then what it takes to move up. Yeah, Pat says just don't hit escape. That's definitely not the push to talk button. All right. So Pat, if you get a chance, if you can share it out to our main page, that'd be awesome. Oh, we got 15 seconds. All right, here we go. Remember 1.5 watts per kilogram at the front. We will not chase flyers. We will mock them.
And I'm a good mocker.
Yes. We have our mocking squad here. Alright, we got a few folks that missed the start. Alright, let me get up to the front here.
One day I'm going to fly just so I can get mocked.
YH is already 2 seconds up and he's pulling 2.7 watts per kilo.
Who is?
YH, Japan guy. Now he's 3 seconds up. Corinne, back off if you can hear me.
So use me as a centerpiece of the group. What I really want you guys to do is practice sliding back and practice sliding forward. So we got a group that's Seth. You guys are about 5 seconds ahead. I eased up to let some folks who were a little slow getting off the line on.
Yep, working my way back.
Okay.
Yep, working my way back.
So the other thing too is remember, as we hit these small changes in grade, try to control yourself. Don't get into that, I'm going 1.5, I'm going 1.5, all of a sudden I'm doing 3.0. Pay attention to what's coming up the road, and then drop back in your gearing to make sure that you're not going to overcook a small climb like this. This is a 3% climb. You could easily accidentally accelerate to a 3.0. It's actually pretty easy to do. We do it all the time, and that shatters the group. And since we're especially in a class environment, we don't want to shatter the group yet. That's going to come later. All right. Max, thanks for jumping in. It's been a while since I've seen Max. An awesome racer. Got a few others that are new. Feel free to jump in, make comments, provide your experience. I am by far not the only expert on this. I'm just a learn through trial and error person who has been absolutely crushed in a number of races and had some good luck in a number of races. So it's just all about learning. That's what we're going to do together as a group. And I don't want this to be the me only talking show. Fortunately, we have Liz on with us, so that's not a problem. Alright, we still got a small group up off the front.
Own it.
We got Mr. Ironman over here pulling 2.0, 8 seconds up. And some Brazilian dude pulling 2.3, 29 seconds up.
We're going to go ahead and ignore them. Who's our Ironman up there?
Well, it ain't you, it ain't me.
Some American guy. Ironman. He's backing off a bit.
Well, it ain't you, it ain't me.
Some American guy. Ironman. He's backing off a bit.
All right. I'm gonna bet he's done one.
You think?
Just one. All right. Good. We got a nice little group going here. I like to see that.
You think?
Yeah, the tighter we keep our bunch, the more aerodynamic benefit we get. All right, so I'm gonna type out to the main group here, and then I'll go into more detail for you guys listening on Discord.
I have a question, actually, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
This is Kate, by the way.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Kate.
I'm just curious, when you're in the bunch, are you getting a draft effect all the time, or only when you're exactly behind somebody and your avatar is sitting up?
Well, so that's a very good question, and I think the answer depends on who you ask. If you ask me when I'm not in the bunch, when I'm off to the side, I don't think I'm getting it, but your avatar actually signals it for you if you're not on the Tron bike. So when they sit up, you're getting a draft.
I see, so that's the visual cue, essentially.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yep. No problem. But you definitely get more draft when you're directly behind someone. Vice off to the side.
And there's a bit of a sticky draft in Zwift too.
Yeah. All right, we
And I
got a
think-
nice group now.
And I think to your point, Kate, the visual cue actually lags about a heartbeat. As I've never been in the group, sitting up or in arrow, where my effort didn't come down as a result of being in the group.
I see. Because sometimes your avatar is like overlapping the next person or something, and it just looks all confused. And I never know how to interpret that.
That's called half-wheeling.
I think if you're looking for the draft effect behind somebody and in a group is where you want to be regardless.
That makes sense.
I think if you're looking for the draft effect behind somebody and in a group is where you want to be regardless.
That makes sense.
I was actually drafting somebody in a race this past weekend, and it actually worked.
All right, we got.
And that was in Zwift, not real life.
Yeah, we got a small group, a small split on our group, so let's try and keep it together. Eamon, you're off the back. Alan, Ross, you guys doing all right back there? I know you're chasing.
Starting the drills early.
Yeah.
I'm also curious whether you can actually set up a functional pace line in Zwift.
You cannot set up a functional pace line very well. Now, we've done it a little bit, it's just very difficult to manage.
Set up a functional pace line in Zwift.
I imagine once we go to fully augmented reality with touch sensors, you might.
Yes, exactly.
I imagine once we go
Easy on the climb here.
Or if we go like VR with like the headsets on, that would be cool.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Add to that.
That'd be cool.
Sensory tabs on the parts of your body, proprioception.
I'm holding out for the chip in my head.
I've got
There you
that
go.
already. It's not that much
Yeah.
of a benefit.
I went with the plate. It didn't work very well.
Alright, so what we're going to do today, sorry to cut you off, but I'll explain it real quick and then we'll get into it once we get off the hill. We're going to send Seth up the road first. Seth is going to get us about a 10 second gap, somewhere around there. Then we're going to chase him as a group. The difference is what we normally do is Seth goes up the road and goes significantly less than what we're doing. Seth is going to hold 2.5 and we're going to chase at 2.5. The reason we're going to do that is I want you to see there's a difference of when we're chasing someone who's going slower than our group by someone who's going the same speed, but the group dynamics vice a solo chaser or a solo effort. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so let me type that out.
Corinne, this is a great place to ask your questions.
Okay, thank you.
LT is very knowledgeable.
Okay, thank you.
Mostly due to getting my butt handed to me in races and watching a lot of races on TV.
I get my butt handed to me, but I don't learn a lot.
Alright, so we're going to note it. We should feel an impact from the draft. So Seth, go ahead on up the road.
What's Seth's last name?
Hudgens. Alright, so do not chase him. And Seth, let me know when you get a 5 to 10 second gap, and then just settle in at 2.5.
He's currently at 8 seconds. 9.
Alright.
10.
Alright, settle in at 2.5.
I'm there. I'm there.
He's currently at
Alright, settle up. Let's bring it up to 2.5, but let's keep it tight. Alright, so we started chasing at 10:54 clock time.
You're mine, Hudgens.
Yes, ma'am.
So we want to keep as compact as possible. What you normally see on the Pro Tour when you watch those races, when they start really drilling it, they line out. You know, in the Zwift aero setup, it doesn't necessarily behoove us to be all lined out. One is because it's much more difficult to maintain a tight pack when we're lined out and to keep that tight aero pack going. So if we're grouped up nice and tight, like a big blob, we get a much better aero effect. And that's going to allow us to pull Seth back, despite the fact that we're really doing roughly the same pace as him, effort-wise. But so Seth, what are you doing for speed right now?
26 miles per hour.
Yeah, so we just came around that corner. Now we're up to 27 miles an hour. Now I'm doing 1.7 plus a kilo.
Can we have that Canadian, please?
We're doing just shy of 50K an hour.
40K.
We're doing just shy of 50.
I'm doing about 40.
Okay.
40K.
I'm in the group and I'm hitting 46.
Yeah, so We are pulling Seth back without actually having to do any more work.
I'm in the group and I'm heading 46.
But now he actually got out to a fairly substantial lead while we were ramping up. So Seth actually got to about 30 seconds on us.
And I'm showing you down to 16, 15 now. Actually, at the front, Mackenzie. And I'm showing you down to 16, 15 now.
So it's not an instantaneous recovery, but it's fast. I mean, so we've done less than 2 minutes of effort at 2.5 so far. Seth has done a little more than that. A lot of people in our group are doing less than 2.5. When I'm not on the front, I'm doing 1.7. Frank, thanks for joining. I'm doing 1.7. What's that?
And the solo 2.5 up here actually feels harder.
Exactly. So we got him in our sights. Now he's down to 8 seconds.
And the solo 2.5 up here actually feels harder.
You hook them, I'll clean and fry them.
Now he's down
Switching
to 7.
to guns.
Yeah, exactly. Made the turn, we crossed over, we're switching to
Too
guns.
close
I like
for
that.
missiles.
And if you look down at what we're doing in our group, there are a few people moving up who are pushing over 2.5, but the vast majority of our team here, our group, is actually doing much closer to 2. So we look at Stookie here, doing 2. O'Brien, 1.8. Got 2.0. Ross, you doing? I just lost you. 1.9, you lazy bastard.
Whatever it takes to get it done.
That's right. So you're conserving energy.
If the minimum weren't good enough, it would not be the minimum.
That's right.
If the minimum weren't good enough, it would not be the minimum. If I can win a race with the lowest average wattage, I've done my job in sitting in.
Exactly. That's the best way to do it.
If I can win a race with the lowest average wattage.
The best way to do it is to win on those styles. Justin Wagner's really, really good at that from ODZ. He sits in quite a bit. And we have Seth in the bunch. All right, he's up.
Howdy ho.
1.5.
Seth is dead.
Howdy ho.
Seth is dead. Just remember, boys, there's no place for second place. No points for second place.
All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna send someone 30 seconds up the road doing the same thing, except we're gonna chase them individually. Actually, we're gonna do a 15-second gap because I don't want to chase all day at 3 for 30 seconds. So we're gonna send Ross up the road.
Yeah, let me know when.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, let me know when.
So we're gonna chase at 3.0.
By the way, I know all the lines from Top Gun.
All right, go ahead, Ross. All right, let me know when you got
Ross's
15
last name?
seconds. Alan.
Thank you.
Don't chase yet, folks. Got a couple eager beavers up there. All right, Ross has got 4 seconds on the group. You can do more than 2.5 to get away. Don't worry about that. It's just once you get it, you can settle. Good. 8 seconds to Ross. All right, you can start settling. All right, we're gonna lift the pace to 3.0. Oh, I will when I can find my, and then just chase, but you're on your own, so draft
18
or
minutes,
don't.
20 seconds.
Yeah, 18:20 is our start time, yep.
18 minutes, 20 seconds.
All right, I've dropped off a little bit just to get some space. All right, now I'm gonna start my 3.0. And I start at 19 minutes just to have a little bit different. Got a couple people pushing up to 4. So what's nice is, since I dropped off the back, the group that's together is doing 3.0, more or less, and all staying together because you guys are cheating. And you've already put 7 seconds into me. Now I'm roughly doing the same effort. So to counter that, I picked up my pace a little bit. And I'm not pulling you back, and I'm doing 3.6. So you guys up at the front, have you caught Ross yet?
I want him right now.
Yep, just
All right.
him.
I want him right now.
That didn't look very one at a time to me.
That did not look very one at a time either.
Well, we were all kind of doing the same effort.
That didn't look very one at a time to me. Well done, guys.
Well, we were all kind of doing the same effort.
I should have told people to sit up or sprint at the beginning and then go. That's all right.
Well, if it means anything, I turned my screen off. I felt alone.
So I'm still trying to chase at 3.0.
If it means anything, I turned my screen off.
Where Liz? And I am just not making progress because of the size of your bunch. Make sure you guys are at 2.5 at the front.
How about 1.5?
We will. We'll go back down to there. Don't worry.
How about 1.5?
So what kind of speed are you holding right now, Ian?
I'm doing 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're just barely cracking a mile or two below and above us.
Right, and I'm doing 3.8.
What kind of speed are you holding right now? Yeah, you're just barely cracking a mile or two below and above us.
So it's taken me 3 minutes at a 3.8, 3.5 to 3.8 effort to catch back on.
I have officially lost group. Over.
We're going to ease to 1.0.
I have officially lost group. Over.
Hey, sorry, Ghost Rider. The System's fault.
It's the pattern is full.
Oh, sorry, Rich Rider, the system's fault.
It's the pattern is full.
So if you notice there, my one effort, I had to go 1.3 higher than you guys to catch on because of the draft. It's insane. 1.3 watts a kilo more, just because you guys were grouped up.
Yeah, it took you about twice as long.
Yep.
So, question. I mean, if you're gonna chase, should you just go as hard as you possibly can, or do you set it at a middle level? What's the most efficient for saving your energy?
Yes.
I mean, if you're gonna chase, should you just go as hard as you possibly can, or do you set it at a middle level? What's the most efficient?
It depends on the size of the bunch that you're chasing, the gap, and how much distance you have to cover it, and how hard they're going. So if they're doing 2.0, you don't need to hammer it. If your FTP is a 3.0, you can just ride at FTP, maybe a little under, for a few minutes. But if they're a big or a number of people and they're gapping you and doing in your VO2, you need to get across that quick and then just sit on. All right, fall back to the beacon if you're up front.
Crazy Canuck is back in the pattern. Over.
All right. All right, so what we are going to do now is we're going to go ahead and test that theory, Kate. So I think it was you who had the question. So we are going to do a sprint across the gap at 15 seconds. And let me know how that works for you.
Cool. Get in there, Kate. Let's go. Cool. Get in there, Kate. Let's go.
So we actually have a group up the road. So we are going to try and, more or less individually go across to them. I think, Seth, you're in that front group.
Yeah, I'm just off the back of it.
All right. Oh, they're all slowing down now.
Yeah, you heckled us into submission.
I know. All right, so Mackenzie,
I did it.
You want to be my my rabbit?
You heckled us into. Who were you asking?
Nah, Mackenzie or Stookie, either way. First answer.
I'll give it a shot.
Sorry,
All right.
I missed it. What did you want?
Nope, I was asking Stookie and Mackenzie. You can do the next one.
I'll give it a shot.
All right, let's try. You're going to go up for a 15-second lead, and we're going to sprint across to you individually. So, Mackenzie, I'm going to want you to settle, when you get 15 seconds, settle at 2.5. So I think people are wildly underestimating the effort of this. Yeah, Pat O'Neill said Eric Denny is the master of not doing work. That is also true. He doesn't have that sprint kick though that Wagner does. He's just a little bit below that, but real close. So main group hold 1.5 watt per kilo right now. So Mackenzie, let me know when you're set. You can go up the road if you haven't started already.
It looks like I'm about 22 up.
Oh, you're 22 up? Okay, settle in at 2. Yeah, I got you right there, 23 seconds. Settle at 2.5. Okay.
Hey, LT, did J-Flo make some s'mores for you?
J-Flo did not make me s'mores. He may have made other people s'mores. All right.
I'm disappointed in him not coming through for you.
I know. They might be in the mail, though. To be fair, he lives in, a couple thousand miles away.
I'm disappointed in him not
All right, I'm letting the group get away, and I'm gonna come across. Now, if you're watching online, you're gonna see that I am not gonna sprint. I am gonna go into VO2 max territory, because I know that I cannot hold a sprint to cross a 22-second gap, or a 24-second gap. But I know if I hold my 5-minute power, I can cross this fairly quick, but not be totally shattered. So I'm going to hold that 6 to 7 watts per kilo. These are my towels. And we're in the bunch, I think. Oh no. Still a little bit up the road.
You just tossed me, Ian.
I did? Okay. So, that didn't take me very long, but I'm definitely breathing hard, as I'm guessing most of you are.
Yeah, that sucked in a lot of ways.
All right, if you're at the front, go to 1.0.
Those are the race winners, man.
Yeah, that sucked in a lot of ways.
I'm gonna slide back. All right, so anyone catch Mackenzie and not be breathing hard? I'm going to take that as a no.
Cricket.
Anybody catch Mackenzie able to form a full sentence afterwards? Anybody catch Mackenzie able to form a full sentence?
By the sound of me, my fat butt is glad that I was out front.
Front group, you're pulling away.
Yeah, 1.0 at the front still until we catch on. We're coming right up on you. We're a few seconds behind.
Oh, nice to spin out.
Yeah. All right, let's get a little recovery in those legs. Alright, so we are regrouping. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of fun here. We are going to get our group going at a pace, 2.5 to 3. Then when we get a group going, we're going to have people try to attack, capped at 3.5, but a 3 to a 3.5, and see what it takes to try and get a 5 to 10 second gap. We're just going to hold our group and we're gonna send people off periodically. I just don't want everyone going at the same time. Just nice and
I'm
controlled.
already up front.
You're already up front?
Yeah.
Well, come on back then.
No, like I'm at the front of the group.
Oh, okay.
Feel free to tell me when to go.
All right, let's bunch up nice and tight first.
Feel free to tell me when to go.
All right, so when I tell you to, when you get a when I tell you to go, you're gonna go at a max of 3.5. When you get a 5-second gap, you're just gonna sit up and come back to the group. But I want you to see what it feels like. And actually, I'm gonna send people from the back. So Liz, you're right by me. You're gonna be good to go. Okay.
Just tell me when.
Gotta lift our pace.
Tell me when.
All right, 2.5 at the front. All right, Liz, go ahead. 3.5 max on the attack, not 5.8. So, Liz, how long did it take you to get the gap?
I don't know, I wasn't looking, but not that long.
Right, but that was only for 5 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah, Eman's next. Let's keep our group nice and steady, nice and bunched up. We want to keep our group tight. Now, Liz, when you were going, you were riding the whole time at 3.5 off the front, right?
Almost. It was jumping around between 3.0 and 3.5.
Good.
That's what I was supposed to do, right? Okay.
Yeah, you're good. Exley, you're next. Go.
Almost. It was jumping around between 3.0.
Stookie, you're next. You can go.
Yeah, it took over 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Send Walker.
Walker, okay. Don't worry, we have some more. We're going to do it again here. The rest of the people are going to go in our next iteration.
Corinne, go up the front. Let's go.
She's going, she's going.
Corinne, go up the front. Let's go.
So 40 seconds with a fair amount of effort, I would say, correct?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
All right. All right, so we're gonna ease up once these riders come back. The reason we're gonna do it is because the next iteration, we're gonna be doing our group at 3 to 3.5, and you gotta try and get off the front, capped out at 4. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Are you nuts?
Yep. All right, Corinne, you can come back to us. Sit up at a, you're gonna start at 5 seconds, but just sit up to a 1.0, we'll catch you. All right, let's ease our group to 1.5. It's gonna be a bit harder now.
Just please don't make it that long.
It's however long it takes you to go get 5 seconds. No, not everyone's gonna go. We're gonna do some. We're not gonna do everybody because then we're gonna do a little more chasing as a group. We're gonna ride at pace as a group. All right, let's lift the pace. Corinne, you back on?
Yes, I'm back on.
Okay. All right, let's lift the pace to 3.0. And I know this is at the top end for some people. We're not going to be here very long.
Right in the middle.
All right, Ross. Let's go ahead and try and attack at max of 4.0. Lloyd, you too?
You got it.
Kate, you're going to be next. All right, how much are you having to work to get away from us?
Working pretty hard.
Good. Kev, thanks for joining us. All right, Lloyd, that's fine. Good, and that's part of the point of today. Go ahead and just jump back on the group and then sit up.
There you go, Kevin. Get in that drop.
All right. Who hasn't gone yet? Mark, go ahead.
Off we go.
LTV 44, who are you? Mark, go ahead.
Off we go.
LTV 44, who are you?
That's me, Vogel.
Okay, you already went. So Lloyd, you just saw the point of this little exercise, how much harder it is to ride solo than in a bunch. All right, ease up. The point of this little exercise, how much harder it is to ride solo than in a bunch. All right, ease up. All right, let's recover. Kev, how's it going?
That felt like it took a while. My husband says that didn't take very long.
Poor Lloyd hit the config button. A was trying to text. No, so Kate, that's actually one of the things. Is, we try not to go too hard for too long effort on this because we have a lot of different levels. So that's why I limit the 4.0 efforts to a bare minimum.
Thank you.
No worries. Don't worry, the next part's going to be a bit harder because we're going to do a little crack the whip. The reason we're going to do crack the whip is we're going to raise the pace periodically. I'm not going to be changing the pace, but we're going to lift the pace throughout the last remaining 8-9 minutes. And if you go ahead of me, you have to stop pedaling, unclip your foot, touch the ground, and then catch back on. But we're not going to be doing 1.5 watts a kilo. So, Kev is having lunch right now at 10 after midnight. That kind of sucks. So the goal is going to be maintaining your position and maintaining pace. And then the punishment for failure to do that, well, that's getting back onto the group. That's moving out. So when I go to the front, I'm gonna raise the pace slowly. Over every couple minutes, I'll lift it up a little bit.
Are you gonna tell me when?
Yeah. Well, I won't tell you when I'm raising the pace. I'll just do it.
No, please tell me.
Oh, that's not gonna happen. You gotta pay attention.
Just send me the password.
Alright, so you guys' goal is to stay tight but not past the leader. If I notice us too strung out, or I notice too much of a gap between me and the group, then I will change the pace a little bit differently and force some punishments. Alright, starting now. Mackenzie, you're going to want to drop back because as soon as I hit the button to send it. Alright, well, starting now. If you're behind me, I say get behind me. That's your one and only freebie. Alright. So good, we're nice and steady here at 1.5. Let me switch the view on this so I can see. Don't give me too much of a gap. Come on, Mark, don't cheat. There we go. Just try and bunch up nice and tight. Now I'm doing a nice and steady 2.5 to 3. Uh-oh, looks like we're on our first victim. Nope, eased off. Good call. Almost, Candace. Or Corinne, excuse me, not Candace, Corinne. Girl went to high school is Candace Walker.
Okay.
Hey, go easy on her. She's a rookie.
No, I called her by my high school friend's name.
It's all good.
Alright, come on, keep it tight, keep it tight.
It's all good.
So this is where we're going to work on pedal control. So as you see, the best view for this is the 3 view, which is the view from your avatar. And you can see when you're coming up on somebody, and you slightly ease off the pedals. You don't want to completely stop. Just want to slightly ease off the pedals. Good job. Got a small gap across your group. There you go. Keep it nice and tight. Seth, good job. Nice. So you guys are holding good pace, good effort. That's what I like to see. Corinne, you're Amon and Vogel, you guys are dropping a little bit. Try and bring it a little closer to the front. You all want to be in that front third.
Well, if everyone's there, there's not a third.
All right, this is what I like. Everyone's pushing up to the front. So if you notice, the closer and tighter you guys get as a group, the easier you get to ride. And, ooh, Liz almost. Oh, Liz, you're nailed. Stats. Sedola. Corinne.
Almost past you.
Okay, I stopped. You guys are away.
Sprint, sprint, sprint.
Okay, I stopped. You guys are away.
Sprint, sprint, sprint. All right, good. About 2 more minutes. I know this is a hard effort for some folks. I appreciate that. This is where it is in the race. If you can hold that draft, then you can go wild. Make your way up to the front, Kate. You too, Ross. Nice, Lloyd. Good, Ross. Way to get on that wheel and then ease a little bit. Max is doing his thing like he normally does. Very good. All right, you guys are doing awesome. I mean, you're almost boring me, except I'm stoked with how you're doing. About 30 more seconds. Very good. You guys didn't even take me in the corner. I did accelerate to help out, though. All right, ease off.
Is it time to buzz the tower yet?
You can go wild if you want. Go nuts.
Is it time to buzz the tower yet?
You can go wild if you want. Go nuts. So those of y'all who stuck that draft really nicely, did you feel the difference of how much easier it was to sit in there, even if the effort level of the front was higher than what you would normally be able to do?
So much easier to sit in, even not falling off the back, so much harder to come back to the group.
Yeah.
Before I became a victim, I noticed it really easy.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too that you got to pay attention to. A lot of times you'll think it's too easy, so you start putting in more effort. But if you're in that group, it's much better to sit up, relax, conserve, and then you use that energy when you need it. Vice just to spend it to show everyone how awesome you are for 5 minutes before you get shelled off the back.
I was relaxing, but you're just relaxing a little more than me.
One sec, typing something out.
It's currently raining thumbs.
Yeah.
It's currently raining thumbs.
Yeah, I was dropping a little low.
All right, so quick wrap up for you guys, and you can ask any question you want. The big thing we were working on today was showing how the group dynamic is important in chasing people down, but also in how it can limit attacks. And what we first showed was that if you put someone out in front of you that's doing roughly the same effort, the group's going to pull them back. Is it instantaneous? No. It's not going to be right away. But over time, they're coming back, and they're going to be a lot more tired than those in the group because you really spread that workload out. Now, one of the things that Kate asked about using the pace line, it's not super easy to do, but when you're in a big group, it's actually, you can create somewhat of a rotation. You're gonna have your freeloaders. That's just part of the game. But, I mean, that's what happens in real cycling too. So, you know, you're always gonna have that, and it's only gonna be a handful of you doing the work. But when someone goes off and tries to go hard, again, the group can hold somewhat less and limit the damage that that person is doing for significantly more effort. So as we saw, when we were doing 2.5 and someone was doing 3.5, could they get away? Yeah. Did they have to put a significant amount of work in? No, but a lot more than the group. But once we bumped that pace up, all of a sudden the payment on that credit card became a lot more. You know, when the group was at a race pace effort, getting away from that is very, very difficult. And the effort you had to put in wasn't going to be really worth it if you couldn't hold that the whole time. If you had a long chase afterwards, or a long way to go in the race, you're probably not going to sustain it. So those are the things to think about when you're doing these group races or the group rides. If you let the main bunch get away from you, how much are you going to have to chase to get back on? And we went through a couple different iterations of that. And then we closed it off with just riding at pace. Now I was changing the pace a little bit. I was lifting it and bringing it slightly back down, lifting it, bring it slightly back down. But what I was trying to focus on there was, if you could work on your position in the bunch and keep nice and tight up towards the front, then it was significantly easier for you to maintain your position in the group and maintain your effort. So you're not getting dropped, you're not getting gapped, and more importantly, you're not wasting a lot of energy. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yes, and you're going ballistic, LT.
Any questions on what we went over today, or anyone have an experience that disproves the theory?
I'm curious about something. So I've done a lot more road riding than I've done Zwift riding, but not enough to compare. For those who've done both, do you feel like this effect that riding solo is such a punishment compared to riding in the group, do you feel like it's stronger on Zwift or stronger in reality?
You know, I think in Zwift you get punished a little bit more, but Zwift is ideal conditions. And so Lloyd just asked a question about heavier riders versus lighter riders riding away. So on a climb, you know, I think you don't feel the draft any different than in reality, in real life. And if you're a lighter rider doing 4.0, you're going to get away on a climb. But if you're a lighter rider trying to get away in the flats, I think the draft effect on Zwift on the flats is much greater than in real life. And then if you factor in the effects of crosswinds and road that you have in real life riding, I think you're going to have, again, a little bit of difference. And a bigger rider on Zwift and in real life, though, is going to have an easier time getting away in the flats. So I tried to combine two answers there, but if that makes sense, Kate, you are getting a bigger effect on the road or on Zwift and on the road when you're on the flats. But once you start climbing, or you're going over the hilly routes, a lot of that gets negated.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
And yeah, for Lloyd, I will never, ever, ever try to make a break on a flat unless we've been riding for like 3.5 or 4 hours, and I know my opponents are just gassed. I always go on the uphills.
Yeah, that's because you're a beanpole.
Yes. Yeah. So Lloyd also says no collisions in a huge group, which equals a huge drop. That is true. You can keep a much tighter group on Zwift than you can in real life, because apparently when you overlap wheels and touch elbows and handlebars in real life, that lends to a bad experience.
That equals concussion.
It depends if you land on your head.
You can't ride through people's faces in real life.
It also equals flying bikes. I've seen the pictures.
I guess, Seth, you can ride through someone's face. It's just frowned upon.
Yeah, I don't think you get the same cool points.
No. No. So, Corinne, how'd you hold up in the last bit there?
I did okay. This was really cool.
Good. Well, we hope you're able to make it out on Wednesday, next Wednesday.
For sure, for sure.
Vogel,
Welcome
you too?
to the show.
She can make it out as long as I don't give her a beat down on Sunday.
Ha ha. I'm still taking you for Sunday.
Alright, she can make it. You're on.
See, you women are worse than the men.
Yeah, but she has to do the same workout that I'm doing and keep up.
Nice. Nice. Well, you're welcome. Glad to have you again. Hopefully you get to be back on next week. All right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, LD. Hope you get those s'mores.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Good stuff, Coach.
All right, folks, that's going to be it for the live stream. We're going to go ahead and send it on out with a nice little outro video. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, Ian. Awesome workout.
Thanks, Ross.
Hey, I'm under penalty of death if I don't ask you. What are we doing about Keys 100?
I know, I'm still... I'm not a fan of the decision.
Corinne, switch the Fuels channel.
Okay, we'll do.
Bye, LT.
See ya. Thanks, Liz.